So let me clear out of here. And you know what? I actually forgot what job number it is. So in order to actually view those, and I'm just kidding, I don't forget, I know it's 1, but in order to view your jobs, if you just type the word jobs, it's going to list all of the jobs that are currently running. And again, don't really freak out about what is a job, what is a process. A job is just a special type of process that we can do some cool things with it. It's just another way to categorize them. So we have this job right here, which is essentially a process that's running in the background, and the job is one. Ugh, can't talk today. So you're like, all right, that program is cool, but you know what? I actually want to stop it. So, all right, what did Bucky teach me? Control C. What the heck, man? Control C. Wait a minute. He told me whenever we have something running, I hit Control C and then it stops it. Well, that doesn't work because that only works whenever that process is in the foreground, whenever we're working in it from the terminal, but we move this to the background. And I'm messing up my terminal. There we go. So since we move this process to the background, we don't have direct control from it from the command line. That's what we wanted. Well, what if we actually want to terminate that job or end it? Well, what we need to do is we need to move it back into the foreground. In other words, we need to say, hey, terminal, actually, we want to control this. So how do you get it from the background, which it is right now, to the foreground? Well, just type FG % and then your job number. So if it was job number 5, you would type 5. Since this is job number 1, we're going to type 1. So we're going to say, hey, this program that's running in the background, bring it to the foreground. And now, as you can see, we are now accessing this program, X logo. So now what we can do is hit Control C, and you see it closes it. So basically, you only can access or run commands on processes or jobs that are in the foreground. Once you move them to the background, then yeah, you can do other stuff with a shell, but you can't run commands on it. So I know it's kind of weird, but after like 2 times playing around with it, you guys are going to get the hang of it. It just sounds a little bit wanky right now. So here's another thing that I want to do. So let's go ahead and launch X logo again. And this is just going to go ahead and launch it in the foreground. So we can go ahead and run commands on it right now. Now, in order to freeze a process, or in other words, pause it, what you can do is you can hold down Control Z. So as you know, this just stopped it or froze it. Now this is different than Control C. Control C pretty much just terminates it or quits out of it completely. So Control Z, this pretty much just pauses it. Now, take note of what happens whenever I do this. I'm going to go ahead and click this X button. And I don't know if you can hear my mouse clicking, but I'm clicking this X button and nothing's happening. Why isn't anything happening? Well, because this program is essentially frozen. It's like literally frozen in time, stopped. So it's not going to respond to anything we do. So in order to get it back, what we can do is, well, a couple of things. The easiest way to actually unpause this is just to bring it to the foreground. So we can see the job number right here, which is this program. So if we bring it to the foreground by using foreground %1, then it closes. Why did it close? Because we had all those clicks on it and they didn't respond because it was paused, but then we unfroze it, handled the clicks, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. All right, there we go. So again, just to recap one last time. On our computer, we have a bunch of programs that are running, and in Linux, we just refer to these things as processes. Now, whenever we're launching and killing these programs from the command line, what we can do is we can either work on it directly, and that means that this is on the foreground and we can pretty much type commands and access it, or if we move it to the background, then we let it continue running, and then we can do things with our shell. Now, when it's in the background, remember, we can't run commands directly on it. If we ever want to access that process again, we have to move it back into the foreground, and there you go. Now, another cool thing I want to show you, maybe this is going to clear things up, is since a job is essentially, just like I said, a special type of process. You can actually run all these commands like freezing it, stopping it, killing it, using the process ID instead. So you can either use the job ID, which was that 1, or the process ID, which was that 2710 or whatever. So let's go ahead and do that. So X logo, let's go ahead and run this program in the background. So there you go. This is running in the background right now. Now let's just go ahead and type PS, and this is going to list all the processes. So X logo, remember it's running in the background right now. It has the process ID 2744. So what if we just want to kill this right now? Well, what we can do is we can actually type kill 2744, and this is going to kill that process. So that's a pretty cool way that you can just avoid that job thing completely if you aren't really familiar or comfortable with that yet. And just to show you guys something else cool, so let's go ahead and pop up that program again and run it in the background. And there you go. And now let's go ahead and write PS. So now it has 2749. It has a new process ID. Well, what if I just want to freeze this and not actually kill it or quit out of it completely? Well, what I can do is this. I can write kill, and instead of just typing in the process ID, I can write hyphen stop. So now once I write 2749, this is just going to go ahead and freeze it. So I think they should use the keyword freeze instead of stop. It's a little bit more clear, but right now this is frozen. So if I click this, nothing happens. Now if I ever want to unfreeze it, then what I can do is this. Instead of stop, I write CONT. So stop means freeze, cont or continue means unfreeze. So let me run that, and since I clicked it a bunch of times, it handles the clicks and it unfreezes it. Now take note of just a couple things here. Control C is essentially the same thing as kill. So whenever we have a program like X logo and I hold down Control C on my computer, then it's essentially just the same thing as killing it. I don't even know if you guys saw that. So there's X logo, and I'm going to hold down Control C and I kill that. Now the last thing I want to mention is whenever you use kill and you send kill signals and try to stop these processes, you can only send kill signals to processes that you own. So if you're looking through your system processes and you try to kill a bunch of those and it's not working, it's because you do not own those. If you want to kill those programs, then what you need to do is you need to run it using sudo or super user privileges. So again, that's your real quick overview on processes. Again, 99% of them, they work behind the scenes. You really don't need to worry about their system processes. But now you guys are turning into super Linux awesome users. So yeah, again, a lot of this gets easier. Just use it a couple times and you're gonna get the hang of it. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Yada yada, tomato tomato. See you next time.